First of all, I'd like to thank you for coming, and I want to thank Mike Santos first, the proprietor of Newton's Tavern. Thank you, Michael, for letting us interrupt your lunch hour for this all-important press conference regarding the fire across the street. I'm pleased to be joined by the County Manager of Union, Al Fiella, Deputy Chief Campbell, Police Director Jim Cosgrove, Chief Tom McNamara of the Fire Department, and Fire Director Onofrio Vitullo, as well as the Police Chief is here, Pat Shannon. Thank you, Chief. Members of the Health Department, members of the Administration and Board of Education are here as well. Some background: this fire started somewhere around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. I was on the scene twice last night, once around 6, 7 o'clock, and later at 10 o'clock. I said to the Chief, call me when it's out, and he hasn't called yet. So that's why we're all here. The building has been compromised, and the fire department has been fighting the fire from the outside, and will continue to do that. Last night at 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock, and the fire department go into more detail and questions, is they tried to enter the building on different ways. One is they tried to cut down a steel door, which they were successful, but there was a load of plywood behind that door, and it made the availability to get accessible. It didn't happen, and they had to then go through the other way. They could only advance about 200 feet, and the smoke and the heat just kept driving them back. So we're going to continue. I want to thank all of the other departments that have been here throughout the County of Union, as well as Essex County. And there are departments that are backing up our firehouses in Elizabeth and the surrounding region, so I thank all the volunteer squads as well that are here. There are 3 schools in the area. The Health Department has been in contact with the administration of the schools. No air conditioning. I never think I'd have to say that in December, but no air conditioning should be used. We've told people who have called that may be compromised with the smoke that they should not have any air conditioning on in their cars. If you're going to use a vent in the car, use the internal vent only, no external vent pulling in air. We've asked people to close all of their windows in their houses and make sure this smoke does not enter the houses. This is going to burn for a while. We'll deal with further questions. It started in a car fire, I believe, earlier in the day, yesterday afternoon. The state police have been on hand last night as well. Questions?
A car fire outside on the street?
Car fire was
inside. It was inside the building.
Car was inside the building, and that's where it started.
Is there a list of companies available in terms of what businesses inhabit this building?
Not right now. We can get that, but we don't have it. Bill?
It's on its way.
It's on its way.
Great.
So who are you with?
Starlight.
Starlight. You get that?
What's the radius that there's a concern in the air closing the windows?
Will? Hazmat, what's the radius of the air concern? This is Bill Keene from the Hazmat Department of the County Engineer. The radius of the air concern.
We've been continuously air monitoring the situation outside the fire scene. We haven't detected any elevated readings of any sort. So basically, it's really pretty much contained to the fire scene and the atmosphere at this point. We've been walking the front, back, and the scene itself. So at this point, we don't see any reason why the residents are being affected at this time.
That depends on wind shifts and everything else, but we'll monitor that consistently. Question?
Do you have any idea how this fire started in the vehicle? Are you guys looking at a possibility of any kind of foul play?
Well, yes, they'll look at it after the fact, but I think anybody with a sense of common sense will understand that this was, in my opinion, as a mayor and not as a professional, this was set. But I don't know that for any truth. I don't know that until the fire's out and it's investigated. I used to ride bicycles in the back of this warehouse when I was a kid with the fire chief, and we used to ride through the alleys, and to get into these buildings and to have a fire of this magnitude start and to have the head start on this fire that it has, I don't believe this was an accident.
Can you give us a sense of what roads are closed?
The only road closed now is Newark Avenue that traverses Newark and the city of Elizabeth. There's alternate traffic going through Kilsyth and Sheridan, as well as through Madison Avenue and North Avenue, but North Avenue remains open east and west. The only road closed will be the north-south on Newark Avenue.
In terms of the building, what's been lost? What portion of the building has collapsed?
Part of the building has collapsed, and the only way for this fire to get out is probably for the entire area where the fire is to collapse and then put it out. The chief can address. Chief, you want to address the amount of foam that was pumped into this building last night and where it came from Jersey City?
Last night, we tried a couple different attempts to put the fire out using basic water, and it was a little futile exercise that we did. We just couldn't make access to the building. We brought in some foam assets from Elizabeth, Union County, and Jersey City for additional foam. We even tried that operation, but we just couldn't get enough, get close enough and a headway to get in there. The heat and the smoke just beat the men up, and we just couldn't keep everybody down in the areas long enough. Access is our biggest problem with this building. It's just it's a fortress with all little holes and tunnels going throughout the building. We just can't get anybody down there. And we tried all different avenues of getting in. Once you go in 15 minutes, it takes them 15 minutes to come out. And that's on, normal, without worrying about smoke, heat, 5 departments from last night and as of today.
Is this one of the bigger fires you guys have covered in a while? Okay.
Since Bay Avenue, in a big commercial building like this, in my 34 years on the department, this is the stubbornest fire I've ever encountered. It just, whatever we tried, didn't work.
And that being said, are you surprised, relieved, your thoughts just that there have been no injuries so far?
That was our biggest worry. That, we were going to get injuries, but we took precautions, and we're very fortunate we didn't have any injuries at all.
At about 10 o'clock last night, the chief and I had a conversation with the deputy chief, and the decision was made not to enter the building again at that hour because the building was compromised and the rest of the firefighting techniques were going to be done from outside the building. And the chief made that call at about 10 o'clock last night.
Mayor, can I get you to ask that again? My microphone was messed up. When you talked about whether it was deliberate or accidental or whatever, what's your opinion?
There is no evidence to any wrongdoing at this stage. It will have to be examined after the fire is put out. From knowing the area the way I do, and from a car being inside the building, it is of my opinion, and I'm a mayor, not an expert, that this fire was started intentionally.
Is anyone being questioned?
Not at this stage.
And what's the plan moving forward in terms of how to fight a fire like this at this stage? Sorry to make you go back.
No, that's fine. We're here.
Our plan right now is to keep some water on the fire. We're hoping that we actually get visible flame and a lot of fire, which then will turn compromise the building. And once the building comes down, it makes it a little easier for us, because then we can work with a contractor or a demolition expert to come in, start lifting the building off, and then we can get our hoses onto the pockets of fire that'll be left. It'll be a long, drawn-out event, but that's our only option at this point.
Chief, can you talk a little bit more about the structure of the building, how it's made, and maybe the contents inside, as far as you know?
The structure, from what we can see right now that's burning, it was a all-cement poured floors, well-built building, but over the years they've had electrical chases put in and holes cut throughout the whole building. As for stock, it appears in the basement area where the main body of fire was, we had rugs, wrapping paper, plastics, solid plastics that were all burning, and it was a large area, probably about 450 foot, and it's quite a substantial area. So the fire load in there was significant, and it was just a matter of time that it started getting up to the second floor, and then got up into chases, and that's where we had the initial collapse.
Do you know when it was built?
That's
Late 1800s.
Yeah, it's got to be.
And the fire re-intensified this morning, right? Any idea of what sparked it to grow even more this morning?
Just the fire spread, the heat, and any of the combustibles that we had in the building. Just the heat will start wearing them down, and then they just ignite. And the area is so big, it's all plastics.
And about what time did it re-intensify this morning?
It's been going on and off all day. It looks a lot worse now, but the smoke and the wind.
So what are you concerned about toxic-wise?
Toxic-wise for the firefighters, and even the neighborhood people, is any type of irritants that could make them sick. Long-term effects. Plastics. They have carcinogens and everything. So we wear masks. When we were fighting fire, everybody had their mask on, so we were limited to the amount of time that we're in the smoke, but it's still, you know, you get some absorption through your skin and everything like that.
And this could take days?
Yes. So we'll rotate people around the clock and have a fire watch, and, you know, hopefully it's a holiday weekend, see what happens. We'll just have to, you know, work a little smarter and see if we can get a contractor in once the building, we do get some collapse.
Regarding your question, the police director can handle when an investigation will start. Director?
With a fire of this magnitude, first of all, we want cause and origin, and that's usually determined by the fire officials. Once they determine the cause and origin, then our arson investigators, or if necessary, or any kind of investigators will be involved.
Do you have any preliminary opinion about how it happened?
No, not at this time, no.
Any other questions? That's it? You guys are great. Thank you.